Hello, welcome to Time to Talk. I'm RG Holloman, and today is Wednesday, March 28th, 2018. We're moving right along. We're trying our best to get into spring. I know on the calendar it says spring is here. Right. We kind of go back and forth a little bit. Some days are cold and other days are really, really nice. But we're getting there. We're getting there. So we're just glad to be here. And we're glad to welcome as our guest today, Miss Stephanie Webb. Who is an independent jewelry consultant. And also she is a survivor of a rare bone disease. And we're going to find out more about that. But first, Stephanie, we want to welcome you to Time to Talk.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yes, and we are so glad that you could be here with us today. Now, I have to tell you, Miss Stephanie, to look at you, you look just gorgeous. Don't look like you've been dealing with anything as serious as you have, but you have dealt with a pretty serious disease that at one time had you where you couldn't walk, you couldn't get out of bed, you were using a wheelchair, a walker, a cane, and today you were just walking all around our studio and getting your jewelry all set up.
Glory be to God.
Goodness,
all glory be to God.
God.
All glory be to God.
I mean,
yes. I didn't do this, he did. My doctors couldn't do it. I've been on every medicine, every treatment, infusions, the chemo, everything. Nothing brought my inflammation levels down. Okay. Now this disease is called, it's a long name, so I'm going to let you say it so that we get it right. Actually, it's two different bone diseases. Ankylosing spondylitis, and they abbreviate it as AS. And DISH is the abbreviation for the other one. It's diffuse
it's also known as Forster's disease?
Yeah, diffuse idiopathic skeletal hyperostosis. And it's also known as Forster's disease. Let's find out more about you. Are you originally from Grand Rapids? Born and raised. Okay, and so you have 2 adult children? Yep. Right now. And so before this all happened, did you have a career? I worked as a residential aide at Spectrum Neuro Rehab. I worked with brain injury and traumatic brain injury individuals and spinal cord injury. The weird part about that is I used to put people on the Go Bus, and then I ended up getting on the Go Bus as a patient. Well, we never know where life might take us. Exactly. And I worked for Spectrum for 10 years. Prior to that, I was an independent contractor for healthcare in Atlanta, Georgia for a while. And then I had to come back here and take care of my mom until she passed on. And before that, I did factory work. But I've always just worked. And 2012, I was on my way to work, and I had to call my boss. I was like, I'm having this chest pain. It's hurting so bad. And I was right around the corner from the job, or basically down the street from the job, because I lived around the corner. Okay. And that was June, I believe it was June 8th of 2012, and I haven't been back to work since. That was it. What did they say was going on at that time? At that time, they didn't know. So I went through a lot of them thinking I was a hypochondriac. And so they thought you were making this up. Yeah. That, but you were actually having a lot of pain. So much pain. So much pain. But I had been experiencing chest pains for a lot of years. And it was like off and on. And my pulmonologist didn't know what was wrong. And I was misdiagnosed in 1994 for having sarcoidosis because I had scarring on my lung. Oh, a scarring on your lungs? I had scarring on my lung, and that usually comes from sarcoidosis. And a lot of people are getting sarcoidosis now.
Okay.
So, and I think it's like kind of prominent in the black community with black people.
Okay.
And so they thought it was that for a lot of years. And
did they start treating you for that?
Yeah, I was on a lot of
wrong medications. So they're giving you medication that you actually didn't need.
Right.
Because it was the wrong diagnosis.
Yeah, and then 2012 they said, well, maybe it's lupus. So I was taking medicine for lupus. So I've been on a lot of different unnecessary medicines, and I went through a lot with that, but the end of 2012, I was finally diagnosed correctly. I went to ER, and I had been going to ER over and over and over, and I was really tired of bothering my family to take me. So I snuck off, and I told my brother, I said, just drop me off at ER, and you come back and get me when church is over. They always send me home and say nothing's wrong. But this particular day, the doctor said, oh, you're going to be here because I'm going to run extensive testing on you. I think I know what it is. So when he came back in, he said, you have ankylosing spondylitis. Took that back to my rheumatologist, and he said, no way. Only white males get that disease. And I'm like, well, maybe, what about white women? And he said, no. No, Stephanie, only, no, I said, what about women? And he said, no, only Caucasian women. So at that point, I'm like, well, both of my grandparents were mixed, so maybe. And he was like,
maybe
no.
It's in the bloodline.
Yeah, so
somewhere.
he ran a lot more tests. My mother suffered with bone disease, and we never knew. You know, she was never diagnosed just because, you know, if it's not happening with black people, why would they, you know? So he ran a lot of tests, and then when I went back, he said, Stephanie, you do have it. And I'm like, okay. So at this time, I had a doctor that still was in disbelief because my chest wall bones are fused together, and she kept saying that that wasn't possible. That couldn't happen. So I'm like, well what about the report?
Weren't they seeing it on the x-ray?
Yeah, so I said, what about the report from the doctor, from my rheumatologist? Will you at least look at it? And she said, no, I'm looking at the report from, the written report from ER. And they said nothing's wrong. The written report from the ER is always different from the specialist because they're only looking at your heart and your lung. So a lot of people are misdiagnosed when they go to ER. You know, we're in pain, so I'm going to go to ER and get some help. You might just go get a staph infection. I mean, you're better off just waiting until you can get to your specialist if you can. But sometimes ER is helpful. But with rare diseases, it's hard. And with these two diseases, we have no one in West Michigan that specializes in these diseases. So my doctor at that time, I guess she just didn't understand the diseases, and she kept saying, you have spondylosis, and I have a lot of people with that. And I kept telling her, no, it's ankylosing spondylitis. And
had you done some research yourself at that time?
And then I started getting into groups. So it's a lot of groups on Facebook, and they all like, they finally got Congress to start researching a little bit. But this lady, we call her Cookie, her name is Cookie, I can't think of her real name right now, but she does a lot of work to try to get people to understand this thing better. So she have everybody that gets in the group to write a story about how it affect your life. I write poetry, so I wrote mine in the poem form. But, and I just talked about how I was in a wheelchair, and I thank and praise the Lord that I'm not now. This disease, I don't even know how to explain it. Having an invisible disease is hard because people look at me and say, oh, it's nothing wrong. And that's
including doctors.
Exactly.
Right.
I'll go in the ER and I'm hurting.
Right.
And they'll be like, oh, she's okay. I wear lipstick. I wear earrings all the time. That's just me. And oh, she got an earring, so doctors are trained, oh, if she got earrings on, she's not hurting.
So How did your family react? Did they start thinking that too? Like,
no, they were really sad.
They knew
and hurt
something
because
was
they knew
wrong.
me. Yeah, they knew I'm work 2 and 3 jobs. You know, I'm busy. I'm taking care of everybody, and then all of a sudden, when I can't drive, or I get to the doctor and I can't make it back home because I couldn't turn my neck, or I can't raise my arms up to comb my hair, my family was hurting more than I was hurting. You know. And
at the worst of it, and we want to let our viewers know that they can call us too. Yeah. We're talking to Stephanie Webb. Stephanie is an independent jewelry consultant. We're going to talk about all this beautiful jewelry, but she is also a survivor of a rare bone disease. But it does happen to people, and as Stephanie said, doctors were thinking it didn't happen to African American people, that it only happened to white males.
Yeah.
But she's an African American woman.
And I'm not a male.
And it happened to her. But if you want to call and say something to Stephanie, she's such an inspiration, and she's just sitting here telling her story now. Or if you have a question for her, give us a call at 616-459-4881. That's 616-459-4881. So you couldn't lift your arms, you couldn't drive your car, you couldn't turn your neck. What else? How else did this affect you, Miss Stephanie?
My wrist. I have spurs all over my whole skeletal system.
You have what?
Spurs.
Okay.
So what the doctors explain it as, my skeletal system looks like wax dripping off every bone. My bones are brittle. So they're chipping off in different places in my body. My hands, my wrist, my feet, my chest wall bones.
That had to be very painful.
It's painful. I mean, it's still a challenge sometimes. You know, and the good thing about selling the jewelry is I can do that in bed. You know? So that's a good thing. But
and what would make your bones chip off?
They're brittle. They fuse together with the ligaments and tendons. That's the ankylosing part of it, and the dish as well. And the dish also makes them brittle, and they start to chip off. So my whole chest wall bones is what my rheumatologist used to explain it as. They're deformed now. My ribs, both cages, have fused together. So my doctors are always nervous about my breathing. And they're, how's your breathing? How's your breathing? And I'm okay. Yeah, I'd always tell them, I say, God's got me. So my doctor, I have a really good doctor now. I mean, she's beautiful inside and out. And
where did you find that doctor? Was it here in West Michigan?
Oh, yeah, and I prayed so hard. I prayed so hard. I mean, I was up on the prayer line every morning, Monday through Friday. And Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I was on a prayer warriors prayer line. So I was praying hard. And I'm just talking to the Lord. I mean, asking, you will receive. And I believe. You know, I believe, and I have my family. My dad's always telling me, believe, believe, believe. Don't listen to the doctors. I've been with every diagnosis from this stuff is affecting my organs as well.
Is it considered cancer at all?
No, they tried to throw that word on me. I reject that.
Okay.
I don't have that. So, but I was doing chemotherapy, and my last 2 treatments, I got sick. And when I mean sick, just messing up the whole bathroom, just puking all over the floors, all over everywhere. And I had just had the blueberry smoothie. You're trying to be healthy, and the walls were just purple, and I just felt so bad. I told the nurse, I said, I'm so sorry, I messed up really bad. And she said, it's okay. But I felt, when I got sick, I had did this thing for like all year and didn't get sick until like December. And I started, I think, like February to December. In December, I got sick, and it was that my bones were chipping, and somehow it had not a good reaction. And it felt like somebody was just squeezing my bones. It hurt really bad, and then I got really hot. And I took pictures of myself, and I was just red, eyes red and everything. So they rushed me right across the street. You know, at the cancer center is right across the street from Butterworth. And I was like, why can't you just push me in a wheelchair? She said, no, I have to do it this way. So anyway, the last time I got sick, and it seemed like this always happens in January for some reason. This January, praise the Lord, it was okay. I mean, I was sick a little, but it was okay.
You got past this January. Thank you, Jesus.
Praise the Lord. So I ended up in the hospital, and they said I was sepsis.
Okay.
Because they, like I said, they don't understand this disease.
So they thought it was some type of
They
infection.
had me on all kinds of antibiotics for, oh my goodness, I was locked up in the hospital for 18 days. I was in the hospital for a week and then sent to a nursing home. They sent me home for a day, and I was so sick, I couldn't do anything. I was just sick. So my daughter, she said, well, Mom, I have to go to work. So she gave me the little bucket, you know, get sick in the bed. And then the social worker came that day. And she was so upset that they let me go from the hospital in that condition. So she said, you have to go to a nursing home or somewhere, Stephanie. And I said, okay. I was feeling so bad that just take me somewhere.
Yeah.
And she asked if she didn't leave until my sister came. She said, I'm not leaving until someone comes.
Okay.
So she said, you can tell your sister she can come and lay down and go to sleep, just long as somebody's here. So she called the nursing home right at the foot of my bed, and my sister took me to nursing home, and I was in there all those days. And that was a horrible experience for me. I'm only 53 years old. And
so it was hard for you being around
it was
older people.
Not really, because I love old people.
Than you?
You know, I love old people. But the thing of that, what I didn't like was the therapy part of it. I didn't like them standing over me while I'm in the bathroom, standing over me while I brush my teeth. I didn't like waking me up.
Because you were an independent person.
Waking me up at 5 o'clock in the morning just to take a pill. And I believe that everyone should know their own bodies. We have to know our own bodies. And I know my body, so I don't feel like anybody can tell me what I'm feeling. I need to tell you what I'm feeling, and you need to listen and understand. Or one thing we have to realize, most black people are not hypochondriacs because we do not like going to the doctor.
We usually won't go to the doctor when we need to go to the doctor.
Exactly. So why would you think we're just in here faking?
Just making up stuff.
And I like getting my own money. Disability is not enough money. I'm going to tell you, disability is enough money for 2 weeks. Then where's the rest of it?
Yeah, you still got to live the rest of the month.
Exactly.
We want our viewers to know that we're talking to Stephanie Webb. Stephanie is a resident here in Grand Rapids, born and raised, and also has dealt with bone disease, faced that challenge of a rare bone disease that many doctors, many people never heard anything about it. She faced many misdiagnoses, and but look at her. She's here today. She's here today, and she before she was in a wheelchair and couldn't do anything for herself at one point. But you're doing quite well now. We want our viewers to know if they have a question or a comment for you, Miss Stephanie, that they can give us a call at 616-459-4881. What made the change? Like, was there a certain medication that you were on, or a certain change of lifestyle that, you know, not that you had done anything wrong in the first place?
It was a lot. Last January, my doctor told me I couldn't live alone anymore, which I already knew. I wasn't able to take care of myself. And at one time I did have a caregiver, and I didn't want to be a burden on my daughter, which I still kind of am, but she told me that my bones got worse. I have a rheumatologist now in Ann Arbor, at the University of Michigan. And my bones had worsened. Every breath I took hurt it, okay? I had a pulmonologist over at U of M as well. Every time I inhale, exhale, it hurts so bad. So, and during that chemo thing, all my hair had fell out, and it was like, I looked like I had alopecia.
And is this your natural hair right now?
Yeah, this is it. Praise the Lord. It came back in 9 months.
Wow.
But God is so good. He is so good. And through all the negative, all the bad we have to go through, we still have to look at the good, because it's a lot. It's good in everything.
Yes.
Even, you know, I lost my mom, and people, you know, they was like, how can you still smile? And
you lost your mom when you were going through all of this?
I was starting to go through it. She was already going through all her bone stuff. Okay. And I was trying to take care of her, and it was times I couldn't even walk up the stairs. You know? But I didn't let her know.
You even took care of her with a broken hip. You had a broken hip.
Well, no, my hip, I just messed that up from my bones being brittle this last year. And last January is when the doctor told me that, she said, I'm sorry, Stephanie, this is it. But she sent me to a couple different new specialists. And that specialist scared the mess out of me, because he wanted to, I was already on Percocet and morphine. And he wanted to put me on a patch, a higher dose of morphine.
Oh my goodness.
And a patch and oxycodone. Take the Percocet away.
Like a kite.
He was gonna have me just sleeping all the time. And I was like, okay, I used to do hospice care. It's not that time for me.
Right.
So I said, okay. And at that point, I knew I had to fight even harder. So I prayed even harder, because what else could I do? I talked to a pastor, and I told her, I said, Pastor Lyons, I can't get on my knees anymore, because if I get down, I can't get up. And I don't know if I could get down, to be honest.
Yeah.
And she said, prostrate. I started prostrating, and it feels like that helped me a lot.
And by prostrating, you're laying flat on the floor?
Yeah, she said you can just do it on your bed.
Okay.
And that's what I did.
Okay.
So I did that, and my doctor, she held my hands, and she prayed, and she told me that she's sorry that this is it, but I need to be in a warmer climate and just be comfortable. And I told her that my brother and my sister-in-law wanted to take care of me. And she knew, me and my independent mind, that it would be hard. And I said, I don't want to live with anybody. And she prayed that I would deal with that.
You know, it's pretty rare to have a doctor that would pray with you.
It's very rare.
That must have been very special for you.
I love her. I love her. I went down south. I stayed in Georgia. I came back last June. I actually came back to visit, and I'm still here. I just started feeling better, and I still have my aches or whatever, but I'm not on pills. Before I came back, I couldn't turn my neck. You know, the dish calcifies your tendons, okay? Now, mind you, they're fusing together with the ligaments and bones and everything at the joints, and then they're calcifying. And that makes them all chip and all that. It's a lot of ugliness that comes with it, but it's a lot of pretty still here. You know, I'm still here. I still got my children. I'm still here, and God loves me.
And what made the turnaround for you?
I think prayer and believing, and I just, you know, I was so sick and tired of not being able to go to the store on my own. I had to go with somebody like a little kid. And I don't know, I prayed so hard, and I talked to the Lord, and I asked him to just show me a way that I can help myself. And I studied herbs. So I got up and I said, okay, one morning after I just kept praying and prostrating, I got up and I made ginger. I sliced ginger root and cucumbers, and I boiled them together. I boiled apple with it, and I just did a lot of little experimental things that would bring down inflammation. And then one day, it's like I heard a voice say, get that turmeric. Well, my sister-in-law already had the turmeric in the closet
turmeric,
for me.
The spice.
Yeah, it was coming.
Okay.
It's a big
T-U-M-E-R-I-C. Turmeric.
Yeah.
That you just get from any health food store.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you
people use it as a spice, but actually it's an herb. It's a root.
Okay.
You get it it's a little ugly root, but it is so good for you. It brings down inflammation in your body like nothing. I mean, it is really good. Really good. Better than any pill.
Okay. All right. Well, you know what, Stephanie? We appreciate you sharing your inspirational story. And people are listening and watching, and hopefully they're learning no matter what they may be going through.
Right.
Because hopefully they're saying, if Miss Stephanie could go through that, and she's here today, and she's praising God,
yes,
you know, maybe my situation can be worked out.
Fight through it.
So we're live today on this March 28, 2018. Let's take this call now.
Okay.
Hello, caller, are you there? We're talking to Stephanie Webb, and we're going to talk about this beautiful jewelry too, and how you came from your illness to get into this. Hello, are you there? Go ahead with your question or comment, please, for Miss Stephanie. And could you speak up a little bit? We can't hear you. Okay, still can't hear you. Hello?
Sorry, Archie.
Okay, we'll have you call back. We're sorry about that, but we'll have you call back. We want to hear what you have to say, your comment or your questions. So when did you dealing with some allergies right now, so little stuffy.
Yeah, you gotta get some turmeric too. It works.
When did you start to see a difference? I
started to see a difference when I was in Georgia. Being down there with that sun, you know, natural vitamin D is really good for us.
Okay.
When I take the medicine vitamin D, it hurts my body.
Okay.
Because I have too much bone growth.
Okay.
So
but the sun was doing you a lot of good.
The sun did me really well. I fought, and I would get out there and walk, even with my cane, and I wasn't feeling well. I couldn't really use a walker because of my wrists were hurt so bad. My wrists are affected so bad sometimes where I can't even hold an ink pen. So, but I was able to hold that cane, and I walked with that cane, and I was taking short walks, like 2 or 3 short walks a day. I would get on Facebook and record myself walking and talking, and it was last year around this time and earlier, and it was snow here, but it was sunny down there. And my mother always taught me, never let them see you sweat. So I was always taught to fight, and keep the faith. So when I record myself, I know people watching, so I got to fight harder. So that's why I always record myself, and I would sit in my apartment and put on lipstick, different color lipsticks. I do gold, everything. Take pictures, especially when I had, you know, my hair was gone. I would take all these pictures and post them on my Facebook to try to encourage myself. And I had to just fight and people would say, "Where you going? You dressed up," and they didn't know I had pajamas on. And, you know, I'm just laid up watching TV, you know. Because I never was a TV watcher. You know, but everything happens for a reason. The Lord slowed me down to probably bring me to this jury because I enjoy this jury. But when I came back, well, when I first started noticing is when one day I was riding in a car. No, one day my brother said, "Wow, you walking straighter than I am." And I was like, I do feel better.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
And then one day we were riding down the street and I turned I felt a really hard pain. It was a different kind of pain that I've ever felt. And I was like, oh, what's this, Lord? But the next day I could turn my neck again.
Wow.
You see how he works?
Yes.
He works. People say he's able. He's more than able. He's working. He's working.
It's working.
So I started turning my neck again. I was like, oh my goodness. I could turn my neck. And I was like, oh, I wonder if I could dance. Then one day I started dancing. I was like, so I record myself, put it on Facebook too, of me dancing in the mirror. And then everybody was like, Stephanie, you doing good down there. And I was like, yeah. But I was drinking, they just don't know.
You were drinking what?
Drinking that turmeric and ginger every morning.
You put it in water?
And I had a little small saucepan, and I would put like a tablespoon of the turmeric powder in there and boil it. I would slice the ginger root, and I didn't have a measurement. That's the sad part. I wasn't measuring. I was just, you know, because I know that if you use too much ginger, it's too spicy. But ginger's good for your intestines and everything. So I said, okay, I need the ginger because my lining of my stomach is all ate out as well. And all my organs are crazy. So I used the ginger, and I put honey and cinnamon in there. While it was almost done boiling, I put the honey and cinnamon. And then in a cup, I would slice cucumbers and just pour the concoction over the cucumbers and drink it. And I would make enough where I'm drinking all day. I would keep making it and drink it all day. And I started feeling better. I just started feeling so much better. And then when I came back here, I came back on a train, and I thought about a family member. I call her a family member because she's been in my family forever. And she stayed on my mind. And I was like, okay, I gotta go see Susie. I gotta go see Susie B. I get over her house, and she could barely get around. She was hurt, and it was the Lord put her on my mind. So I gave her the remedy. And I was also using hemp seed oil. I would rub the hemp seed oil. Hemp seed.
Okay.
Yep, I would rub that on the bottom of my feet. And I gave her some oil, and I showed her how to do it, and she was feeling better.
And your doctors were shocked when you
I
came in there back, walking straight.
Yeah, my doctor could not believe it. She just stood like this and just stared at me. And I was like, look, Doc, I can raise my hands again. I can raise my hands. And she looked. I said, look, I'm turning my neck. And she just looked. And she didn't say anything. She
couldn't believe it.
And then she had me come back in 2 weeks. I went back in 2 weeks, and same result. She just stood there and stared. And when I went back again, following 2 weeks, she just couldn't stop hugging me. Because she knows how this disease is. One day you're up, and the next day you could be down for 2 weeks or so. So she had to see for herself. And she just
kept... But you got up and you stayed up.
And she just kept hugging me, and she said, well, it's okay if you don't go back down south, but I'm going to monitor you. So she's always up on the blood work and all that. This winter has been a lot better. And when I say a lot better, I mean a lot better. I have some downtime. So a couple weeks ago, I went to the doctor, and so now I do have to go back to the U of M in a week or so. She wants the doctor to look at me because of my pain. I've never been 100% pain-free. I've never even been, I mean, I still have pain, but I have to keep going, you know?
And what keeps you going emotionally and spiritually?
What keeps me going? I'm just so happy to be happy, and I'm so happy that God saved me. I'm so happy that He worked on me, you know? And I love seeing happy people. I love happy people, and I got my children. I don't have any grandchildren, but I have my children and my brothers, my cousin, I call her a sister. We grew up like sisters, and I have my family. It's like everybody.
So you have so many things to be grateful for.
A lot to be grateful for. I'm just so happy to even be saved.
So have you shared your story with different people?
Everybody I come in contact with. Everybody I come in contact with, because I'm grateful. You know, at one time on my Facebook, I had my name Grateful Agape. Grateful the first name, Agape last. And I rolled with it until Facebook said, you need to show us ID that this is your real name.
Oh.
And I'm like, okay, somebody must have complained. But I said I was going to change my first name to Grateful because I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. And I love the Lord. And I love everybody. I love loving people. I love lovely people. I I like being happy, and it's no other
somebody
place
even
to be.
complained about that said he had the same thing, but he said, why should you be happy? Why should you be grateful?
Yeah, I wrote a poem and I put it in the group, and it was it was saying, I thank and praise the Lord that the ankylosing spondylitis starts when you're a kid, and a lot of, well, it was 2 kids that their parents were in the group, and they were speaking in behalf of their children. A 7-year-old had a hip replacement, a 9-year-old a hip replacement.
Wow.
And they were in this getting infusions as well. That's every 2 or 3 weeks. Yeah. And I said, I thank and praise the Lord that he allowed me to raise my children, take care of my mom until she passed. I'm so grateful.
Yeah.
Because I could have been where I'm at right now. I could have been a long time ago and not even had children, or I could have been a long time ago when my children were in school.
Yeah.
And my son was in sports. My daughter was in cheerleader and choirs and
you
all the
been
stuff.
Able to participate
and who would have
things.
been taking care of my children?
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know nobody else take care of mine. You know?
Right. Right.
So
exactly.
I'm grateful. I am so grateful. But that guy, he was upset with me for saying that in the poem, and he said, how could I be so grateful? And this was, you know, he said ugly things, you know, about the Lord and why he's in the condition that he's in. You know, everybody go through everything. Everybody's got something going on. Nobody's exempt. This is life.
Right.
This is life.
Right.
So life is sweet. I always say life is sweet. Life is sweet, and on some days it's going to be sweeter.
Yeah.
So it's like a peach. Some days it's sweeter and some days it's just plain sweet. But if it's plain sweet, you better press in on your prayer. That's the way I see it. So if it's just regular sweet, I'm here, I'm woke. So I got to press in on my prayer if I'm going through a lot of pain. But if it's sweeter, then I'm walking in not as much pain.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful for all in all. I'm grateful for, man, and I have beautiful friends like Tammy. Tammy is so beautiful inside and out.
She is.
I mean, people don't understand. They look at Tammy and they say, oh, she's so pretty. She's so pretty. I took a picture of her and she was in a necklace, and I was like, she's so pretty. I'm going to put this up.
Yeah.
So I put it up, and somebody said, who is Tammy Lee?
Yeah.
Said,
and Miss Tammy Lee, she's
I'm like,
helping us on our show now.
Yeah, and I'm like, you just don't know. She's more than beautiful on the outside.
And the inside. She gave us your name. Said,
praise
Miss
the Lord.
Stephanie
She's always giving my name. She had me at church telling my story too. And then I forgot a part of it. I was just so grateful, you know, that I had just came back from down south and I had on some little heels.
Yes.
And I'm walking. Okay. I'm walking in the heels.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh, look, I got heels on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Know, I was just happy. And I forgot to tell about the story about, you know, the going through the little chemo stuff and the hair falling out, and Tammy got up and told it. Because I was so grateful because I know how God works.
Yes.
I know how he works. My son was 4 weeks old when he suffered respiratory distress.
Oh.
So he was put on a ventilator doing 96 and 98% of his breathing. Every organ in my little bitty baby's body shut down.
Oh no.
He had to get emergency surgery to his heart. He's here today. He got a little mild brain damage, but he's here today.
How old is he now?
He's 34.
All right.
He's old. He's older than me. But he's here.
Yes.
He's walking, and he's like me.
Yes.
Doesn't look like anything's wrong. Yeah,
Really
doesn't look like
miracle.
anything's wrong. He's got a mild brain damage, but he doesn't look like anything's wrong. And the doctors, they had given up on him too. And I got up, and when I got up in church, I was supposed to give my testimony, but I told about my son.
Okay, okay.
Because
that was a part of your testimony too.
I'm so grateful.
Yes, yes,
you know?
yes.
I am grateful.
Have to be grateful. Have to be grateful.
I know what God can do.
Yes. Won't he do it?
Yes.
We're talking to Miss Stephanie Webb. We're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back. We're going to show some Facebook pictures, and then we're going to also talk about your beautiful jewelry here.
Yes.
And Miss Stephanie is sharing her amazing story of the trials and triumphs, really.
Yeah.
So you're watching Time to Talk. I'm Margie Holman. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Are we still on camera?
Yes.
Oh.
Are we supposed to take a break?
Yes.
Thank you, Auntie.
Now can you bring it?
No, you can't get up. Let me have you read something from the book.
Uh-oh, I got my glass. Is that?
Hello, welcome back to Time to Talk. I'm Margie Holman. Today is Wednesday, March 28th, 2018. We're talking to Stephanie Webb, our special guest today. Miss Stephanie is an independent jewelry consultant for Paparazzi. It's called Paparazzi, the company is. And then also, Miss Stephanie is a survivor of a rare bone disease, and we're going to put it up on the screen so you can see the name of it and research more about it. So we're glad to have you, Miss Stephanie. And Miss Stephanie sharing her story, her trials and her triumphs, and is so grateful to be here today. Well, let's go to some pictures of some of your jewelry. We're going to be able to see them. Well, there's the name of the disease. Can you say that for us?
Ankylosing spondylitis is one, and diffuse idiopathic skeletal hyperostosis is the other. Is abbreviated as DISH, also known as Forster's disease.
Okay, thank you. So you actually have two bone diseases?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, but she's here today.
Praise the Lord.
And walked in on her own power.
Praise
no
the Lord.
wheelchair or anything. Okay, so let's go look at some of the pictures that with your jewelry.
That's
Tell us what's happening
and
here.
that's a friend I grew up with, and she also lives in Texas, so she's an online customer. So she supports me by buying my jewelry online, and that is one of the signature collections that she has on. It's called the Rachel.
Okay, and what is she wearing, a necklace?
That's a signature necklace. The signature necklaces are $25. They come with matching earrings, and they come with a nice velvet pack to keep them in. Oh, I forgot.
So how did you get into selling jewelry?
My friend is in it, and she sold me that necklace right there.
This one?
Yeah.
That's pretty. And what are we seeing in this picture?
That right there is a wrap bracelet. It wraps around, and actually, I do a lot of different artsy things. I draw. So I wrapped the bracelet around my hat, and I just showed it to show people that you don't just have to wear the bracelet around your wrist. You can wear it around your boot. You can wear it around your hat, accessorize your hat. So a lot of our jewelry can be accessorized in different ways.
Okay. Let's go to the next picture. Or do we have another?
And that is another signature collection. It is called Euphoria. And it's just beautiful.
Yes,
and
it is
she
beautiful.
lives all the way in Mississippi. So, I mean, this jewelry, it gets around.
Okay. And so that must make you feel good to be able to.
It makes me feel really good, too.
Yes.
And it makes me feel good
and
that people are happy.
Now,
you know?
we can see how beautiful
and that's
she is.
Tammy, and she has, this is another signature collection that she has on. It's the one that I'm wearing right now.
Okay.
And it's called the Michelle. Tammy is so creative herself, so she also wrapped this necklace right here. It's called Scarfing for Attention. She wrapped it around her neck.
Okay.
So she has two necklaces on.
Okay.
And she also has the Glitz by Association earrings on. They're so pretty. And Tammy, and she has the bracelets on as well. So she's just beautiful, a beautiful model.
Yes, she is. Yeah. She is. A beautiful person.
So I have some beautiful models.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
And that's my great niece.
Jewelry for kids.
That's my great niece. We have a collection called the Shimmer, Starlit Shimmer. And it's caters to little girls. They have different earrings, bracelets, and all of our accessories change every business day. Monday through Friday, they change.
Every business day.
So we don't have catalogs.
And
the little girls change too.
But people probably
very affordable.
Have change in their purse.
Oh my goodness.
That would pay for that.
Yes,
change
indeed.
in your purse.
Yes, indeed.
So think about what
they
that
can
might
always
be.
just go to the website.
Okay. And what's the website?
StephWebb.com.
Okay.
StephWebb.com and check out those prices.
Okay.
Your little girls can change accessories more than you.
Okay. Let's see our next picture.
Maybe that's
we might not
yeah,
have
that's
another
it. I think that's it.
Okay, so let's talk about, and we're going to have you read something from your book too. Well, let's talk about what is the name of your book first of all.
It's called Poems Inspired by Life.
Okay, so we're going to get back to that, but let's talk about what we have in front of us.
Okay, and this is a lot of blockbusters. This is a blockbuster, so it's mostly always online. And all of the necklaces come with matching earrings. I just made a boo-boo. I just messed up.
Nice,
but all of them comes with matching earrings. And this right here, it's a rose gold. It's just so pretty. Everything has, and this one, sea beads, it's called Wide Open Spaces. And like I said, that pearl was my very first piece. It's a blockbuster as well. And the long one is Golden Spell. It's long and it's pretty. It's just, and then that one on the end, that one's really long. It's called All the Trimmings, and it comes with that one has that brown ribbon. It comes in pink, purple, and white, and the black as well. And they're very nice.
And you have rings. I love rings.
Yeah, especially that pearl one right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, rings. We have a lot of bracelets. This one right here is one of my favorites. It's kind of new, but it's just one of my favorites because it looks like a belt. That's why I like it so much, because it looks like a little belt.
Yeah.
And well, this is a Scarfing for Attention. It's very long. It's with the one Tammy had on.
Well, you're multi-talented. You also write. What's the name of your book?
It's called Poems Inspired by Life. It still sells on Amazon.
Okay.
It's a lifesaver. Can you read
something from it?
Yeah, let me see what I want to read.
This is a collection of your poems. You wrote them all.
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
I'll read one called Find Wisdom. I talk so much, you know. When I am lost and cannot see, I run to the Bible the Lord has given me. For Proverbs and Psalms, give me wisdom and strength to prepare me for another day. Thank you, Mom, for teaching me to pray. And I thank and praise the Lord for that one. This is the shortest poem in the book, so that's why I read it. So,
are there people in your life who are here today, or maybe they've gone on, that really, you know, taught you so much to help you to be able to deal with what you've dealt with?
I learned from everybody, but my mom, she was a teacher, a preacher, a doctor, a lawyer, everything, you know. She was like, you know, when you have a good mother?
Yes, I know
she's
about
like
that.
your Jesus on earth. Right. And she was my Jesus on earth. She was everything. And I mean everything. She kept her Bible open on the table, but it wasn't for show. You better know that. We had to read it. We had Bible study, and I didn't like it. I'm not going to tell you a story. I didn't like it. But it's good. You know, she tried to instill in us what she needed to, or what she thought she had to. And it's a good thing. She always told us to treat people right, treat people the way you want to be treated. And then she said, better yet, treat them the way you need to be treated. So I try to treat people right. And my grandmother, my paternal grandmother, she was good. She always used to ask me, do you have any friends that are like you? And I didn't know what she meant until recently.
What did she mean?
I guess we just see people faces. We see who they really are, and it's hard to find somebody who's really like you. You know, I'm kind of subtle. I don't play games. I don't do the mind reading. You know, I don't like that. My mother always told me, don't read between lines, because you're going to read the wrong thing. Nobody has ESP. So if you can't read somebody's mind, how can you read between the lines?
Right. So what's coming up next for you, Stephanie?
This jewelry, I'm going to press in on this jewelry. I'm loving it.
Can people have parties or anything? People
can have parties in their homes, in their businesses. I do fundraisers. They can even join.
Okay. Give us your contact information again.
StephWebb.com. They can just go to the site and join. We have a couple of men on our team now. I have men business partners as well. So if you're a man, you can join. If you live out of state, you don't have to live in Michigan. You don't even have to stay in Grand Rapids. It's worldwide. Well, no, it's U.S., just in the U.S. Let me correct that. So
we're getting ready to close, but if there's somebody out there that's dealing with some health issues, some mental issues, some spiritual issues, what would you like to share with them?
I would like to say what my doctor said she wished I could tell everybody ill. When the doctor gives you a prognosis, don't hold your head down. Keep fighting and believe. And when you believe, that's a lot. That's your strength. Hold on to your faith and press in on your prayers. And that's what I believe. It's like my prognosis, they had given up on me last year, and look at me now. I'm here.
Yes, you're
here.
I'm
not going to take what they say and hold my head down. And I used to tell everybody, Jesus is going to hold my head up on a string.
Okay.
He's got me.
Okay.
And I just want everybody to know who's going through rare bone diseases or any kind of rare disease, and you go to the hospital, you go to the doctor, and they don't understand what you're going through. Keep fighting, learn your body, learn yourself. You have to research, get in groups with other people who share your common illness.
And speak up for yourself.
Speak up, because I went to physical therapists and they tell me to bend down, and I said no, I can't, because if I bend, my body will lock in a flex position. And first of all, if you go into a physical therapist, find out what your body can do, know, research, and then you ask them, what are your plans? What are your intentions? What do you want to accomplish with this physical therapy with me? What is it going to accomplish? Is it going to help me? And if they don't know my disease, how can they help me? So I never went to physical therapy because they didn't understand my illness, and I'm scared of them. I'm scared of anybody who don't know my illness. You're going to harm me more than you can help me. And I learned that from my mom's doctor. So,
and realize it's your body, you're in it 24/7. So you know more about it than
don't
anybody.
listen. Yeah, don't listen if the doctors tell you that it's not true. If you feel it, you feel it.
So believe in yourself, believe in God.
Yes.
Miss Stephanie Webb, it's been so enjoyable talking to you today.
Thank you.
Very educational, very inspirational. We hope you will come back again sometime.
Oh, and I didn't even tell you what, I'm in this. This is like an aid to help me build my foundation. I want to build a foundation for ankylosing and spondylitis and DISH awareness.
Okay.
I want to spread awareness to doctors, first of all.
Wonderful. And let us know how we can help you with that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being with us on Time to Talk today. And thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye. That's so pretty.